Coming to you from Proofpoint Protect 2025, I'm Kristina Ayanian from Nasdaq. And joining me is Michael Frendo, Chief Technology Officer of Engineering at Proofpoint. Michael, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Now, what is your vision for Proofpoint's roadmap in terms of engineering and technicality?
Well, Proofpoint is a company that was built by buying and building specific technologies and products to solve specific problems. As we move into the AI age, it becomes more and more important to bring those things together into more of a platform solution. The advent of AI actually also is an advent in a couple of ways. First, it opens up opportunities for us to have new technology to solve many of the security problems that we solve, but it also opens a whole new set of threats, a whole new attack surface for the bad guys, for the threat actors that are out there to come after us. So from my perspective, it's really about both using the AI technology in many different ways. We use it for development, we use it for our product, we use it to make ourselves more efficient, we use it to answer customers' questions, we use it to make the work of our customers easier. But we also have to recognize that agentic AI is like another person. So as we build our solution around the human-centric approach, right, the fact that the most attacked and biggest risk in any company is actually the people, agentic acts like a person. So it also becomes the same kind of problem. We need to protect it the same way. And so the vision is really to bring everything together in a very holistic way, where we leverage the knowledge across those different products and add the capabilities that come with AI and the surveillance of the AI and build a solution that really works for all of the different kinds of interactions that happen. Because they'll happen between people. They'll happen between people and data. They'll happen between people and agents. They'll happen between agents and agents. All those interactions need to be protected because they're all places where threat actors can insert themselves.
So speaking of the threat actors and protecting those threats, how do you build a quote-unquote resilient by design platform?
I've been in the resilience business a long time. We have this enemy. It's called Murphy. Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So as you're trying to build a product that's resilient, you need to think about it along a number of different dimensions. The first is really just architecture. It's building a product that inherently has redundancy and capability. For example, putting a data center in New York and another one in LA, so if something happens to the one in New York, you've got the backup in LA. It's making your software and architecture fail over. So if one part fails, another piece takes over. So that's just the first piece. The second piece is how you deploy the technology. We have to constantly update. But the thing about the cyberspace is that your product is different tomorrow than it is today. In fact, it's different many times during the day because threats change during the day. When you're living in an environment that's that dynamic, you're deploying new stuff pretty much all the time. And so your deployment strategy has to be very, very carefully designed to make sure that when you either update the threat information or update some piece of software, that you're doing in a way that doesn't disrupt everything else. The third piece is all around how you detect problems when they happen. Because as perfect as we are as engineers, we still fail, right? They're very complex systems and things do go wrong. So when something does go wrong, you want to be able to detect that something happened very quickly, and you want to be able to address it in order to minimize the impact on your customers. And then the fourth piece is actually just pure communication. To tell your customers when things are going wrong, you need to warn them when you're going to make a big change that might have an impact. That communication becomes so important because really our customers are our customers, but we're also their partners, right? We are there to help them protect their environment, protect their industry, protect their people. And we do that in partnership because, it's a very, like you said, a very dynamic environment.
So can you tell us or give us a little sneak peek of Proofpoint Nexus and Zen and how they integrate with the overall security ecosystem?
So Nexus is really the sparks. It's the technology. It's where all the AI and machine learning and all those things fit. Those are all the pieces that to create the signals for us so we can understand what's going on, whether there's a threat, how to deal with it, how to squash it. Zen is really how we communicate, right? It's providing advisor for customers if they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. Zen is all around being that partner for the human beings, whether it's a SOC analyst or an end user. That's what the Zen part is. integration it becomes super important because as we've evolved, it becomes clearer and clearer that the different types of cybersecurity actually need to work together. And so by providing a set of APIs, for example, we provide our customers the ability to integrate our products into a bigger solution that they need for their environment. So we constantly both work by creating APIs so customers can interact with the technology directly with other technology, but also we look at partnerships, working with other companies that are also in the cyber landscape that complement what we do. That means both sharing information with them, but also getting information from them so that the overall protection is that much better. In the world of cyber, the more you know, it's almost very similar to the whole AI space, right? The more knowledge you have, the more effective your solution can be.
What role does cross-business unit integration play in creating that?
Well, that comes down to what I said earlier about the fact that we grew up as a company that acquired solutions or built solutions for specific problems. What we're finding now is that there's information that the different solutions have that actually complement each other. For example, in our email threat protection, we look at individuals and the kinds of mail they get. You look at very attacked people. We get information about particular users because they're being attacked a lot. We share that information with our human risk engine because that's one of the inputs to human risk. Okay, this person gets attacked a lot by email. Another side of it might be, they have access to a lot of really sensitive data. A third piece might come from the data loss prevention side of the house, where they're seeing weird activity or unusual activity on particular types of data that person might have access to. So you bring that data together from all of those different business units and create a solution where the individual pieces of information brought together are far more powerful than any individual piece by itself.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How is the role of the CTO evolving?
Well, I mean, the CTO's role, in my mind, the CTO's role has always been the same. You got to be thinking about 2 or 3 years ahead, right? You got to be thinking about not just the technology you have, but how the technology is going to evolve. I'll give it an example. The advent of AI, everybody thinks it sort of started in November a couple years ago. It's been around a long time. That was a big change though, right? When the Gen AI engines first came out, it was a significant change in the marketplace. But you got to recognize that was really just the beginning, right? Two things that change over time. One, the cost of technology always goes down. And the second piece with AI, honestly, what we have next week will be different than what we had last week. It's moving so fast. So when we look at the way technology is going to evolve, we have to think about how we build not just for what we have today, but how we're going to use the technology differently as we go forward. We can use we have more power, more AI power, lower cost. We'll be able to apply technology more broadly because it becomes more cost effective. And so that's what you do. To be a successful CTO, you really need to think about how your capabilities and the technology are going to intersect not just today, but next year and the year after that and the year after that.
You're essentially predicting the future, or trying to.
Yeah. Well, in tech, we've had some pretty good indicators over time. We've always known that processing power would double every 18 months and stuff would get cheaper, usually by about 15% every a couple of years. So we've got a couple of good sort of track records to go with. But yes, absolutely, we have to predict the future.
And speaking of AI, if AI could do one thing for you personally, what would it be?
I thought a lot about that question, and there's a tremendous amount that AI means to me from a tech perspective, right? That I think will make our products better, will protect our customers better. But honestly, the most important thing to me is I have 2 sisters that are medical doctors. I think AI's potential in that space, that's what would mean the most to me right now.
I'm very excited to continue following it. It must be very exciting from an engineering perspective.
Absolutely. We've had several transitions over the years, the internet, the cloud, the open source, all of these things that have completely changed our trajectory and what we thought wasn't even possible many years ago. It seems like we got a few more decades maybe of that ahead of us, and that's super exciting.
What do you think will be that next phenomenon?
When we talk about AI getting to having general intelligence, I think that's going to happen. I think we will get to a place, because we've already got these agentic models that are using different data and making decisions on their own. I think we will get to a place where AI will truly accelerate our knowledge as the race, not just regurgitate knowledge to us or summarize things we told it, but actually create new. I think that's the next big thing. And I don't think it's necessarily that far away.
Well, hopefully 5-10 years from now when we're speaking again, we'll see if that comes true.
That would be great.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.